Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐔, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. It's the current time of 3:25 p.m. on Eastern Time on Tuesday, September 13th. Hope you guys have a good day so far. ETHEREUM at $1,590, down about 7.4% so far. On the overall market, as you can see in front of us, the overall market on both the crypto and equity side, it seems like we are falling quite significantly, and it's intensifying as the day durates. We were hovering around, I'll say across the board, down about 500 basis points so far, but it seems like we have shaved down further to now, if you take that more of an average perspective, more like 1,100 basis points so far, which is, one of the worst days we have seen since May 2022. So with respect to why we are selling off the way we are, which I know is gut wrenching. I can understand that today a lot of money has been flowing out of the market, but I would say this is something that's expected. I'm not saying I knew that the report was going to come out to be negative today, because I don't have the statistics, nor am I the wizard to predict the future. But the technical has been showing, negative sign, right? Knowing the fact that we are, firstly, in the head and shoulder pattern. Clearly, if you look at it, right, a head, shoulder, and shoulder. At the same time, on a daily, we've been extended for quite some time, right? So we were looking for an apex, and obviously as we hit the apex, which we've been seeing for the last couple of days so far, the baseball will just eventually, fall down from, the tippy point, right? So which is exactly what we did. And before I dive into technical, the high level numbers that we kind of missed, it's basically, the August Consumer Price Index report show a higher than expected reading for inflation, right? The headline inflation number has risen by 0.1% month over month, even with the falling gas price, which is the double whammy effects that we're seeing, right? Despite falling gas prices, we still have risen on the inflationary pressure front, and core inflation has also risen by 0.6% month over month, and year over year is 8.3%. So with this, relatively, I would say this is more like a C minus, D plus report, right? Economists and people that collectively, psychologically, are expecting that the likelihood of us going with the third consecutive 75 basis point rate hike again to further tamp down the inflationary pressure will be very likely, or even higher, than 75 basis point, which is possible. So this is quite aggressive move, from this negative report that came out, cultivated to be one of the worst days of this year so far, right? So let's just dive into technical without wasting more time to see what does it look like now. What are we going to be doing going forward? So with respect to recording time of 3:29 p.m. on the Eastern Time, we are at 1590, down 7.5% so far. Is it a good time to sell now, right? Or is it a good time to buy now? I would say it's not a good time to sell, definitely, right? But if you want to cut your losses, because you're down incrementally, fine, go ahead for a tax write-off, but don't sell because it's red, or don't sell because you're freaking out. The setup right now looks like we are overreacting, definitely, which I get it, right? Because CPI in a PPI report is tomorrow, we might just see something similar to what we're seeing today. Obviously, the merge is coming out on the 15th, and then obviously the next week, 20 to 21st, FOMC meeting. Knowing the fact of what we know collectively so far, we know that it's not going to be a positive outcome. And I don't foresee, a span of a week will change anything dynamically. So I think, a rate hike of 75 basis point again would make sense, but that means we have some sort of a water torture chamber type of effect, elongating the pain all the way until next week, right? Which is something we hate, right? So what do we see ideally, right? We will have to kind of firstly cross down, right? You see that we need to cross down. At the same time, we are at this 46 out of 70, so ideally coming down to a lower level of 35 out of 70, that translates into somewhere around 1450, right? Which is the next level of support, which is quite substantive. But if we break that level, and let's say, you know, it's not enough, right? Let's say we come down to 35, you know, based on the, you know, matching with the level of 1450, we don't sustain, we might go all the way down to 1250, right? And then on the weekly front, you could see that we're still bearish, right? So coming down to like 1450, 1250, very likely, I would say, right? Knowing the fact that the next level of support is going to be somewhere around like 28 or 22 even, which was highly submerged back in the day. But on the monthly, again, right, quite bullish, right, still. But obviously, you'd have to kind of weigh it out, right? Even though it's plateauing, but it's talking about months out, right? So ideally in late Q4, early Q1 can be a possibility. Bitcoin's doing the same thing, right? It's a little bit more consolidated, and I would say it's a little bit more stable, which makes sense. It's a larger coin. Weekly looks moderately bearish, right? Because of the fact that you still cross up, you need to kind of cross down first. And then on a daily, you could see that we need to kind of cross down eventually. You are at the, we popped the balloon basically at 62 out of 70. So now we're heading down to the next level, 37 out of 70. So, but unfortunately, you see a large separation, right? So that means Bitcoin breaking 20,000 is very certain based on the current setup that we're in right now. We might get there soon, like in the next maybe 24 hours or so, depending on the merge effects, and we might see, get the buy the rumor, sell the news type of momentum, breaking through 19,500, breaking through 18,500, and then heading down to like the 15,500 and lower possibly, because this is quite scary for us. Large separation. You do technically have some room to leap down from here, and 20,000 we're basically holding on by the ledge right now. And if you step on someone's hand while they're holding on to the ledge, they're just gonna fall to the death, right? But knowing the fact that we've corrected the way that we have so far, and this is one of the worst days of 2022, you definitely don't want to sell on a red day, Like I've been like telling you guys, again, I'm not a wizard, but we've been talking about this for days now, that it's been holding and showing a negative trend. So this is just it showing into fruition. So now if you are still caught in the trap, hold on tight. We might see a little bit more pain coming, but these are paper loss, right? So I wouldn't freak out too much about it, right? I would just practice patience and allow for the market cycle to go through, but just know that lower levels is very possible, and I think it's very, very probable right now. And it's going to be more and more, especially the technical front is just, it doesn't lie to us. I don't think it ever lies to us. I never lie to you guys. I just translate what I say. I don't really have an opinion on what the chart is saying. So hopefully this is helpful. It is unfortunate. It is I don't think I'm surprised by this. So yeah, but if you have any questions, again, right, feel free to reach out to me. And for the Patreon members, obviously, we've seen how the whales have been acting so far, so this is not a surprise either. So be smart, be alert, but stay strong. Do not freak out. And I'm here for you. So just let me know how I can be helpful. Okay? Take care. Bye.